Hello, my name is Landon, and I don't know exactly how I'm gonna do these videos, but let's go. I got real bored and figured some stuff out. I know the wind's probably blowing in here. I hope you can hear me. This is my parents' house, and I've known forever that if you go that way through the woods, you'll just end up in someone's backyard. But then I looked at some Google Maps and figured out exactly how deep the woods went, and it's a pretty good amount of woods that if you go that way, you won't run into civilization for a long time. Nothing but woods. And the first thing I noticed that was strange was there's a huge line of rocks, just rocks everywhere. You can see these rocks behind me. My dad has gotten them out of the woods and built little things around the tree and stuff. But anyway, I'm walking around and just started finding old stuff buried in the ground, sticking halfway out of the ground. I found an old bottle and looked it up on eBay, and it was worth money. It was like a $5 to $10 bottle that I could sell. So let's go find some stuff. Come on. Okay, this is where a little trail starts, and the only reason this trail is here is where my dad was getting the rocks out of the woods. The only way I can explain the rocks is this highway that I live next to is really, really old. It was like one of the first roads around here. And I guess when they built it or made the road, they must have bulldozed these rocks over here. I don't know. Either that or it's like a big Indian burial ground. So I'm gonna go with it's just leftover construction. There's some of the rocks. They're just piled up everywhere. It's crazy. Alright, I'm gonna film till I get to the end of this trail. This is where the trail ends pretty much. And I have to make my own trail and try not to get lost. I'll check back with y'all in a minute when I find something. Here's something that I found yesterday. It's an old tailgate to a Ford. Turn this around here. Ford, found on roadside dead. That's pretty neat. Let's see what else we can find. Well, this is my first little spot I found, and I haven't totally excavated it, but it's a good sign of there's no telling what I'm gonna find. I found a couple of these, the bottle that I originally found and brought back. These are kind of dirty, I hadn't cleaned them up yet. And I know y'all can't see the detail with my camera, but it's an old Sprite bottle from the 1970s. I did a bunch of research last night. It's got raised lettering on the Sprite and these little indentions all in the bottle. These are worth a little bit. I just found 3 of those. I'd rather find Coke bottles. That's what I'm hoping to find, a bunch of Coke bottles, because they go for a little bit more depending on how old they are, what size ounce they are. Here's no deposit, no return, some kind of old beer bottle. I don't really know if it's worth anything. We'll just leave him here and take the Sprite bottles with us. And these are old Kraft barbecue sauce bottles. I don't know if they have any value, but they're old and they'd make a good vase or lamp or something. But here's what I found that makes me think I'm gonna find stuff eventually that's not just bottles. Look at this old doll. That's creepy. I can't really get the dirt and the snails off its head because it's stuck in its hair, but yeah, anyway, there's an old doll. And here's one of the old Schlitz beer cans that are everywhere. Okay, so from this location, I'm gonna come back to it later and dig more, but for now I found 3 Sprite bottles. This is a new one I just discovered. It was totally covered up, and I picked all this junk up and peeled back the layer, and it's like an old burn pile. That's a pretty neat looking little bottle, but he's chipped. Some more of these Kraft barbecue sauce bottles, and I know that they're Kraft barbecue because this one has a label on it here. Kraft garlic flavored barbecue sauce, probably from the 1970s is what I'd guess, since I'm finding 1970s Sprite bottles. Here's a few of the bottles I found in this hole. A Pepsi bottle. It's got raised lettering on it, and it is a no deposit bottle. No deposit bottle, no return, no deposit. I have no idea what this one is. Probably a beer. Same thing with this one. And here's a Coke bottle. It's an old Coke bottle, and it has Coke written on it, and it's gone. So I don't know if this one's worth anything. This old one, 6.5 fluid ounces, return for deposit, and it's got the lettering on it. Hopefully I can clean this up without the lettering come off. Okay, kind of looking for needles and haystacks here, but this is what it's like when I find a place. Can y'all hear that? It doesn't sound like ground, it's like there's cans and stuff. An old piece of wire. A bunch of old pieces of wire. An old rod. Schlitz beer can. Somebody loved Schlitz. Anyway, it doesn't look like there's any glass here. So moving on. Well, it would have failed. So anyway, I was about 2 miles out in the woods and I ran out of memory, so there were some things that I couldn't film, but I ended up finding about 10 of these Sprite bottles just like this from the 70s. I haven't cleaned this one up yet. I've cleaned these up most of the way. There's still a few specks inside I need to brush out, but here's the Coke bottle that has the lettering on it. I would assume that this one is newer than this one that has the embossed. I've been studying up on this stuff, but I don't know everything yet. But I would just assume that the embossed lettering cola is older than that one. So anyway, that's pretty neat. I only found those 2 Coke ones, and I found this old Dr. Pepper one. Some of the lettering's coming off, but it's pretty neat. So yeah, that's what I found today. Thanks for watching Bottle Hunter. That's it.